ولا تقتلوا النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق ومن قتل مظلوما فقد جعلنا لوليه سلطانا فلا يسرف في القتل إنه كان منصورا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية.
Hussain, Hussain, King of martyrs. Hussain, Hussain has been slaughtered. Hussain, Hussain, true believer. Hussain, Hussain, or his beacon.
لبيك يا حسين
لبيك يا حسين
لبيك يا حسين
لبيك يا حسين
السلام على الحسين
وعلى علي بن الحسين
وعلى أولاد الحسين
وعلى أصحاب الحسين.
Assalamu alaikum. May Allah bless you, your family, and your community.
Welcome to Rise With Us,
A program sponsored by Kisa Foundation, Rise Academy, and Sabah Islamic Center. This season, we have a familiar face as our co-host. You may have seen him in other productions by Kisa Foundation.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abbas Mir and I'm currently an 11th grade student going to Rise Academy.
Welcome to the show. Let's begin by taking our hearts to Karbala.
السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين.
So how are the Majalis of Imām Ḥusayn in your community?
Alhamdulillah, in our community, we're blessed to have Maulana Osama Abdul Ghani. He is a great scholar. I really like his stories.
The best ones are the ones that are, inshallah, not true.
Actually, do we have a recording of that?
I think so.
Our brothers in the back drinking the sabah chai. Can you play the recording from the other night?
There's a story they tell, and inshallah it's not true. They said once there was a sister, she was sitting on an airplane, and a man came and was sitting down next to her. And he said, "What's that book that you're reading?" She said, "This is the Quran." He started to laugh. He said, "The Quran? You mean that book that talks about that prophet that was swallowed by the whale?" Mocking. She said, "You mean Prophet Yunus?" "Yeah." He said, "Do you believe that stuff?" She said, "Yeah, I believe it." He said, well, then how can you, just tell me, how can someone survive in the belly of a well, in the ocean? Tell me how that is. The woman thought for a second. She was like, I'm not sure, actually. The man said, the woman said this. She said that when I go to heaven, then I'll tell you. I'll talk to him, I'll find out. The guy said, what if he's not in heaven? He said, well, then you ask him. It might be the case that I don't have all of the answers initially, but I know where to refer to. Islam is a religion with an intellectual basis. The first condition for that iman, which was ashura'i. Question, is intellectual conviction, is that enough? That once you have that, then definitely you're in the camp of Imām Ḥusayn, now you can go, now you can fight? Actually, no. I want to tell you a story about one of the companions of Imām Ḥusayn. You can look him up later.
Segment in the Rise With Us show. I am the co-host of the Rise With Us, and this new segment is called Volunteer in Disguise, where I basically am being the volunteer and I'm doing a disguise. So I'm trying to give the water to the Sheikh. The poor man, he's deciding, he's giving a beautiful speech. Quite unfortunately, he has no water at the moment, so I will give him the water. Water acquired. Okay, let's go. Not work out. I'm going to not spill the water. I'm going to not spill.
Hey bro, is that the water?
Yeah, it's for the shit. Alright, third time's the charm. This is, please, I just want to get this in the water. Okay, let's go.
It's a blessing to learn from the ulama and the majalis of Imām Ḥusayn. There are some questions that may not be answered in the majalis. Do you have a question about the event of Karbala that you would like to ask an ʿālim?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I was wondering, like, why would Imām Ḥusayn go to Karbala when he knew he would become a martyr? Like, it wasn't a question of if he would become a martyr when he Karbala. It was more like when he went, it would happen. So why would he still go?
See, that's a very good question. What else?
I guess also I was wondering, like, how much of the azadāri that we do every year, how much of that is like a cultural build-up over the last couple of decades compared to like how much of that is actually teaching from the al-Bayt?
See, that's a great question. And I'm sure you have questions like that that you would like to ask an ʿālim. Well, you can submit your questions on our website and we will ask the ʿālim.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh Salim.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah, Zahra, and salam to all of the viewers of this program at home.
Some of our friends at home know you and have listened to your lectures. Can you please tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Well, you know, I not much to say. My name is Salim, and it's my honor to be able to do this little contribution for this great project in service of Imām Ḥusayn alayhi salam. I was born in the US. I grew up in the US. I went to university. I studied computer science. And then I decided to go to the Hawza and to pursue some further religious studies, Islamic studies there. And now I am working as part of a school effort here in San Jose, California, and I'm also involved with the local Islamic Center.
Why did Imām Ḥusayn come to Kufa even though he knew he would be killed? Why didn't he return after he heard that Muslim had been martyred?
Well, Imām Ḥusayn alayhi salam, his main motivation behind doing what he did was doing his responsibility to Allah. He is Abu Abdullah. He's a servant of Allah. So he knew that it was his responsibility to resist giving bay'ah, allegiance to Yazid. And he couldn't stay in Medina. Makkah was not suitable because of it being a haram. He knew that if he were to stay in Makkah, he would be killed. Kufans had invited him, so he was doing his responsibility of responding to their invitation and being their leader and going there to guide them and lead them. Now, he was very clear that where this was going to end up. It had been foretold at the time of his birth that he would become a shaheed. But his goal wasn't to stay alive for the sake of staying alive. His goal was to do Amr bil Ma'ruf, Nahi anil Munkar, to guide the society and let them know how far they had gone away from the truth. And the only way of doing that was to continue on his journey.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sheikh Salim.
You're welcome, Zahra.
It's a blessing to visit the shrines of Ahl al-Bayt. Abbas, have you been to Karbala?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, I've had the blessing to go many times.
And if you were in Karbala tonight, after you visit the shrine of Imām Ḥusayn and Hazrat al-Fazl, where would you go? Where do you want to be right now?
Probably Bayn al-Haramain.
Bayn al-Haramain. Why?
I just think like the view of both harams of Imām Ḥusayn and Abu al-Fadl Abbas, the fact that you can see both of them is just like, yeah, it's a really amazing experience.
For those of us who haven't been to Karbala, Bayn al-Haramain is the area between the shrine of Imām Ḥusayn and the shrine of Abu al-Fadl Abbas. Inshallah, in this program, we will visit and learn more about the shrines of Ahl al-Bayt. But for now, let's go to Bayn al-Haramain.
ته رویای من کربلا علت اشکای من کربلا خون آقای من کربلا کربلا کربلا.
Do you recite noha in English?
I know you recite all the time, right?
It's an honor to recite for Imām Ḥusayn. Actually, both of us are part of an English recitation group named Voices of Walaya, VOW. And let's go ahead and watch a clip of the English recitation of Voices of Walaya.
While in my blood I am immersed, look who has come to quench my thirst. He is saying, come fast, Hussein. Father, I made it to him first. From your lips his words I can hear. I'll join you soon upon the spheres. From your lips.
پیامبر خدا حافظ خدا حافظ پیامبر خدا حافظ خدا حافظ reflection of حیدر خدا حافظ خدا حافظ my most precious treasure خدا حافظ خدا حافظ معینی اکبر خدا حافظ خدا حافظ your turn to lead has come ولدي my heart is in pieces ولدي all the women and children lined up to bid you a farewell ولدي your turn to leave has come ولدي my heart is in pieces ولدي all the women and children lined up to bid you a farewell ولدي علي علي أكبر 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 ولدي refuge of سكينة خدا حافظ خدا حافظ refuge of سكينة خدا حافظ خدا حافظ my most precious treasure خدا حافظ خدا حافظ.
So how'd you like the noha?
How do you compare English azadāri to other languages?
I guess for me personally, because English is like my native language, I understand it more and I get more out of it when I recite in English.
Good point. What about listening? What languages do you listen to when it comes to noha?
Personally, I try to listen to as many as I can, right? But I have a couple friends I know that they prefer to listen to, like for example, Farsi or Urdu or Arabic. Or
why is that?
I think it's because the fact that like they have a better infrastructure to create better nohas.
See, that's a valid point. And programs like this, like Rise With Us, is hoping to promote the culture of English azadāri.
Here I lie, Ya Mawlai, run to me before I die. Here I lie, Ya Mawlai, run to me before I die. Oh my uncle, there's my blood, let me see you one last time. As I'm leaving, going further, I'm seeing your murder. As I'm leaving, going further, I'm seeing your murder. I'm a martyr sliced for you, to be sacrificed for you. I'm a martyr sliced for you, to be sacrificed for you. Oh, there will be pains for you when no one remains for you, when no one remains for you.
Did you know there's only like 20-something countries around the world that have Shia Islamic schools?
Islamic schools are like a gym in a community. You've been going to Rise Academy for how many years now?
I think almost 11 now, 11 years.
And how has been the experience?
Honestly, it's been really good. Like the education has been amazing, but at the same time, the environment was really, really great.
Alhamdulillah. In this program, we will visit different Islamic schools around the world. But for now, we will go to Rise Academy.
You know, alhamdulillah, every year Rise Academy has been able to put a special program for Sham Ghariban.
Like one year we had a play.
Another year we had like a candle visual.
Or poetry.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and visit the Sham Ghariban program at Rise Academy.
Is this you? Are you my brother Hussein? What have we done to my Hussein? What have we done to your body, Hussein?
Because of Ali's love, this was all an evil plot. One by one, without fear, they willingly sacrificed their lives, supported by mothers, daughters, and their wives. Qasim, Akbar, and Muhammad were all killed. The Almighty's mission had to be fulfilled.
जलते हुए ख़ैमों से ज़ैनब की सदाई अब्बास कहाँ हो तुम
The martyrdom of Hussein, the Masa'ib that we hear, the Masa'ib that we hear. Zainab saw them with her eyes, Zainab saw them with her eyes.
مظلوم يا زينب مظلوم يا زينب مظلوم يا زينب مظلوم يا زينب.
The looting and the burning of the tents in Karbala, the heads on top of the spears in the city of Kufa.
Imām Ḥusayn looked at the horizon. The swords were waiting for him. It was the last night that the moon could see his shining face like a dream. He gathered all his companions and said, I don't know better friends than you. But anyone staying here won't be alive tomorrow. You can save yourself tonight and go. A deep silence filled the air until his brother Abbas said, after you, we just can't live. He was worried about his little children in a desert, no food, no water, under a siege that became harder and harder. He gathered all his companions and said, I don't know better friends than you. But anyone staying here won't be alive tomorrow. You can save yourself tonight and go. A deep silence filled the air until his brother Abbas said, after you, we just can't live. After you, we just can't breathe. After you, there is no life. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. The next afternoon, only Hussein and the children remained. He mounted his horse and rode into the battlefield. Looking at his companions' bodies on the hot desert ground. He remembered their last words. After you, we just can't live. After you, we just can't breathe. After you, there is no life. Ya Hussain.
Mansour was only 8 years old at the time. They lived in a house with neighbors renting different rooms. One day, his father bought him cherries. Mansour really liked cherries. He got happy, but then he asked his father, "What about the children of the neighbors?" His father said, "Well, their father can buy them cherries." Then Mansour asked, "What if they don't have money?" His father didn't say anything, but Mansour got up and shared his cherries with the children of the neighbors. And then he came back and said, "Now I can eat the cherries." Later on, Mansour grew up to become one of the martyrs of Islam. My friends, till next week and another episode of Rise With Us. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين.
You should really try the sabachai. Wait, are you recording this?